Hello, welcome to another GK Beginning Band video. Today we're going to work on the trumpet and play the rest of page 11. The assignment is numbers 38, 39, 40, and 41. We're going to be employing the two new notes that we've been working on the last couple weeks, which is the A and the low B. We'll start with Marianne, number 38. There's solo and soli sections marked for 4 measures. Once we get in the group setting, there'll be a soloist or a section playing by themselves. The 2D section means to play together. We're going to work on the whole thing. You can see that this is marked pretty clearly in four measure phrases, and we're going to play them all in. We start with the E, G, C, E, E, D, F. There's a tie that connects those two notes. We'll play that as one unbroken note. So we'll play it for 4 counts across the bar line. There are 2 quarter rests in measure 4 and also in measure 12. And they give you a half rest at the end of the 8th measure. Remember that we'll be playing the first line and we'll move down to the next line and play with no stopping. Number 38, Marianne. 1, 2, ready. 3, 4, stop. We always want to count out the notes at the end, even if they're rests. That way we get used to counting all the way through. In number 39, the Crusaders March, you're going to have a repeat, which means we're going to play the first 8 measures, we're going to count the rest, and we're going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to buzz one time through, just as an example of how I would approach this if I was practicing. I might buzz it all the way through just to make sure I get the rhythms. Looks like a fairly simple rhythm, lots of half notes and quarter notes. There is a half note tied to a quarter note in the last measure, which means I'll play that for 3 counts. Number 39, Crusaders March, I'm going to buzz it on the mouthpiece just one time through. 1, 2, ready. One thing I didn't point out as I was playing, which you probably picked up on, is that there is a breath mark in measure 6 after count 2, after the half note G. We don't normally have breath marks in the middle of a measure. We're not used to reading it yet. Make sure your student notes that that's where they want you to take a breath. We should be able to play the rest of the phrase, the rest of the song, after that breath mark. So make sure they take a nice, deep, low breath and fill up from the bottom up. We'll try playing number 39, Crusaders March, with the repeat. 1, 2, ready. In number 40, balance the scales, you are supposed to draw one note or one rest to balance each scale. which means on one side of the scale you have a number of notes, maybe one note, maybe 3 or 4 notes, and you're supposed to figure out how many counts those are worth and put the appropriate single note or single rest on the other side that would balance that scale. For instance, let's do the first one together. The first one, you have a quarter note and a quarter rest. The quarter note is worth 1 count. The quarter rest is worth 1 count. So you have 2 counts on that side of the scale. So on the right side of the scale, you need to put something that's worth 2 counts. Now, if you think about what notes you could use a half note, or you could use a half rest. Both the half note and half rest are worth 2 counts. You need to do that for every one of the other 4 that are on that line or that assignment, and you need to use just 1 note or 1 rest. Okay? Let's try number 41 now, Go for Excellence. We're reviewing the notes we know how to play. Every note, I believe, is represented from B all the way up to the high A. It's in 2/4, and there are 2 lines. There's also a repeat. We're going to be playing at the beginning, trying to breathe every 4 measures. When we get to the end of the first line, we'll go down just like we're reading a story out of a book, and go down a line and all the way over to the left and read from left to right once again. We'll go ahead and play this with the repeat. Number 41, Go for Excellence. 1, 2, ready. Your student may have to look at the last 4 measures of number 41 because after a lot of stepwise motion, we have some skips. G, E, F, D, C. If that's the case, then they just work on it a couple times. If they need to work a little slower, they just play it a little slower. Making sure they keep their fingers over the valves so they can push them straight down. You want to avoid tucking the fingers back while you're playing, which just makes for a more smooth transition from note to note. Make sure your student is using good alignment. The trumpets should be pointing slightly down, and make sure they do a little buzzing every day. Try buzzing every one of their exercises once on the mouthpiece before they play it 2 or 3 times on the trumpet itself. The assignment is page 11, numbers 37 through 41, or 38 through 41 rather, I'm sorry. Have fun practicing your trumpet this week.